Hey, welcome to another episode of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Brandon Gonez, and today we have a story about a black woman who was beat up by her white neighbor. I'll tell you all the details in a hot second, but first, I need you to subscribe to this channel right now. Tap that notification bell and make sure to follow us on all of our social media, and don't forget to comment on this video and share it as well. So the woman's name is Vanessa Alexander, and she was actually beat up by a 300-pound white man, her neighbor, after her dog ran into his backyard. Here are a few photos of what Vanessa looked like after she was beat up. You can see just how horrific these images are. We actually have a News You Can Use exclusive where we're going to talk to Vanessa about what took place. Vanessa Alexander, thanks so much for joining us here on News You Can Use.
Thank you for having me.
Can you run me back in terms of what happened on June 20th?
On June 20th, I was beaten pretty badly by my neighbor. It was a nice day. It was Father's Day. I was going to go to the cemetery to go see my pops, but I took Gigi, my puppy, 10-month-old puppy, to the beach the day before. So I had a lot of sand in my car and I was pretty exhausted. So I was like, let me just clean it and I'm just going to chill for today. And this is happening at the front of the house. I was cleaning my car and my immediate neighbor that lives right beside me is Tony. He's a nice old 97-year-old Italian guy. He's the only one that I really talk to on the street, and he has two kids that normally come and rotate to watch over him. So his daughter was watching over Tony that day and offered me some cake.
So what happened? So what happened when you were hanging out with your neighbors?
When I went over I sat down right in front of their door. They have a chair that's one of the spots that Tony likes to sit. But they were sitting at the top balcony, which is at the front of the house. They have a small little balcony there. So she handed me the cake, and Gigi took off, and I saw her running after a stray cat or some kind of bunny rabbit, and in the direction of the attacker, which is right beside Tony's house. His name's Shelly, and went into his backyard. And I stayed on Tony's property, and I called over Gigi. And she came back within like 10 seconds, and she knew she was in trouble, and I still had to discipline her. So I took her to my backyard. So I went down Tony's steps, up my steps, and put her in my backyard where it's barricaded. And I went back down my steps, up Tony's steps to sit down and continue eating cake with Tony and Maria, with his daughter. And then that's when, from like the side, I can hear somebody, yelling out, "Hey, you, buddy, pal, I'm talking to you, punk," using those kind of terms. And I've never spoke to Shelly before.
What was he saying to you? What was he calling you?
He called me buddy, pal, and punk. Those were the three terms that he just like arrived home in his driveway. And that's when he approached me, and he's like, cursing and saying, "Hey, I'm effing talking to you. Hey, pal, you and your effing dog have been chilling in my backyard." So he's referring to past events, and I've never been in his backyard before. And I told him, I'm like, you don't approach me like that. That's what I said to him. And before I was even able to explain to him that I've never been there, it was like right away there was arms, like fists being thrown.
Fists being thrown at you?
Yeah, like right away. Like all I said to him was, "Don't approach me like that." And as soon as I said that, I just remember getting punched in the face, my eyes. He smashed my head on the concrete and kept going down on my head.
So hold up. First off, I'm so sorry that you had to endure that. Can you describe to me, what does this neighbor Shelly look like?
He's massive. He looks like he's in his 50s or 60s. He drives like a scooter that's mainly for elderly people. But he looks like he's about 300 pounds. He's 3 times my weight. He's a big guy. I'm 110 pounds. I never expected him to come like to fight.
So what was happening next? How many punches did he throw? What happened next?
I hit the ground pretty fast, and I just remember my head just going back and forth, him scraping me on the concrete. That's why I'm keeping my do-rag on to protect the new skin from exposed to the sun. He scraped me, ended up giving me 2 separate stitches, a total of 8. Some of my eyebrow is gone, but I would say it was about plus 30 punches, and he just kept going. And I remember I was screaming like stop, but it got to a point where I couldn't even say anything anymore, and it didn't even matter because he was gonna keep going. I had to kind of wait till he was done. Even Maria was at the balcony because she can see everything. I can hear her while I'm down. I can hear her saying stop, like what are you doing, like screaming. And he wouldn't stop to either me or her. So I just had to focus on bracing myself for more impact.
So who called the police? Did anybody call the police?
My friend called the police. So when I realized he never punched me anywhere on my body, just my head and my face.
But that's still your body. That's still your body.
Yeah, definitely. But it's just like I didn't have anywhere else. Like any bruises or abrasions that I had was just for me trying to crawl away. So when I felt like there was no more punches, when I realized, because I was pretty like in and out of, it was just so much confusion going on. I crawled to feel Tony's railing because I just know the layout. It's the exact same as mine. And I felt the railing, and then I went down the stairs that directed me towards my place, and I just laid there on my kitchen floor. And I managed to call my friend, and she was like, "What happened? Are you okay?" Because I said, "Help! Just help me." I didn't really have enough energy to explain in detail, and I just knew she would take care of everything. She called 911. She called my mom, my sister. Everyone came. My friend came. When she came, she told me that I was unresponsive, and she came before EMS. So EMS came pretty fast. The police, from what she told me, they said that they had other calls.
So let's clarify this. So EMS came, they took you away. Police didn't arrive because they said to you that they had other calls.
Yeah, they had other important calls. Other things were going on that day. They never had enough police officers.
So when did police finally get involved in this?
They came around like 6 o'clock in the morning.
The following day?
Yeah, around 6 o'clock in the morning, asking for a statement. And even when I was at the hospital, a nurse said she's going to be right back. There's a police officer that wanted to speak to you. And then she came back to me and said, he can't talk to you because he's a part of a different division.
So then what happened next after they took photos of your body and then finally got your statement?
They said that they were going to go and apprehend it. They were going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to go to get Shelly. And from what I'm hearing, because I had some friends and other neighbors that were there outside trying to see what's going to happen. And the police drove away because he wouldn't come outside. So they needed they needed a warrant to get inside. So both of the officers went away and then came back hours later to then arrest him.
So he got arrested?
He got arrested, and the charge was bodily harm that it sits at right now. I still have to talk to the detective. Again, he's gonna want a video statement, and we're gonna see what happens later. But I'm just going with the process right now.
I can't even imagine. Do you feel safe living where you live right now?
Definitely not 100%. And I've been in contact with victim services, and even that process is taking a long time. Like up to now, I still haven't gotten a counselor that I can talk to frequently. The only services that they have like that is urgent, because it's called victim quick response. You get someone that you talk to just one time, and it's not necessarily you're going to talk to them the same person again. So it's like you're just saying your story over and over again, and that's already enough. And that's why I try to get out the house, go to a park, and do as much as I know to try to clear my mind, because the only things that I see when my eyes were covered is the last memory that that's the only thing that's going in my head. It's the last thing that I remember seeing, which is him. I have to be the one replaying that in my head until my eyes can get better. And even now, it's not like how it used to be. It's it's one of those things I have to wait and continue to heal. But it's not only physical. A lot of this is mental. I live by myself there, and you would want that kind of support at least a week from the incident, and knowing that they cut off the criminal forgot the name of it, that board. It's been cut off since 2019 because of they needed some funds somewhere, so they targeted that criminal. I forgot the name of it, but there's only so much that victim quick response can do. That has always been there before 2019. It's even the care afterwards. Everything is lacking, because there's some people out there that definitely need that. Definitely need that. It's hard.
I'm so sorry that you've had to go through this. You shouldn't have had to go through this, especially since it's just because your dog went into his backyard.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, what do you want to see done to Shelly? What do you want to see done to this man who attacked you?
He needs to be punished. There has to be something that's more for him. And I don't. It's very privileged a system that we live in for some, and then that's not okay, because I might be his first victim on paper, but who knows if he's actually committed that before and just nobody knows about it. And it only takes one time, because I could have easily been killed that day. One blow to the head, I could have been easily gone that day. And my friend, overall, I'm super grateful to be here. That sometimes I don't even get super mad about the changes to my face, because I have to go through surgery coming up soon. I have to talk to the surgeon about it. But at the same time, it's still something that I have to wake up and see on my face. I don't want him on the streets, and I don't 200 meters away from me is all that they're putting in place right now. No, he doesn't need to be around anybody. He needs to be in jail and think about what he did.
Vanessa, I want to thank you so much for being vulnerable with us, and promise me that you'll keep us posted on how this court case goes, and hopefully you get the justice you deserve. What a just tragic story, and I can promise you this, we're going to continue following it and giving you all the updates. And I also want to let you know that a GoFundMe page has been set up to help Vanessa. If you want that link, if you want to check it out, you can find it below as well as in the description. Also, don't forget this, we do drop music news every Tuesday and Friday, so if there is a news story you want us to look into, email us, news@brandongonezshow.com. And don't forget, if you haven't watched the latest episode of The BG Show, go watch it right now. Hey BG Squad, also remember this, Subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, follow us on all our social media, share this video, and comment below. We'll see you soon.